Hey there, pen enthusiasts. Today we're looking to do a follow-up on a video I previously did where I made my own shimmer ink. Originally, I used the Wearingeul glitter potion here. And essentially what that is just a little vial here that has a bunch of shimmer powder in it, which of course does settle out. You gotta shake it up before you mix it in with your ink. But I also used some mica powder that I picked up from DollarTree to make my own shimmer ink. Rather than using the pre-made potion there, I just added a little bit of a mica powder to a sample vial of ink and used that instead. And recently I had someone ask how these were holding up. So I have used them a few times since then, but they have been sitting for probably a few weeks at the very least. The pink and blue pens here were filled with nitrogen and skull and roses with the Wearingeul glitter potion added. And then this green one here was filled with the mica powder. But as you can see, these have settled out quite a bit, even with me moving them around here. There's still a fair amount of shimmer stuck to the side. They have been stored horizontally, which typically is what I would recommend when using a shimmer ink. That way the shimmer powder doesn't settle on the stem of your feed on the back side there. So I have no idea if these will write, but what we're going to do is intentionally shake everything up a little bit, try to get that shimmer moving around in there, and we'll see how these write. So we'll start with the green one here, which is the one I added the mica powder to, and is the one most likely to cause problems since it's just kind of a MacGyvered solution. So that one wrote just fine without any specialness to it. We just opened it up and gave it a write, even though it's been sitting for quite a while. And we'll go ahead and test the other two here just to see if they do anything different. Same thing, just kind of roll them around, get that shimmer moving. So all three of those actually wrote without issue. Typically with shimmer inks, what people worry about is them clogging their feeds, which does occasionally happen. My biggest tip to keep a shimmer pen writing well is just to keep it moving, especially after it's sat, in storage for a while before you write with it. Just get everything moving around. But even as you write, the shimmer will slowly settle out to the bottom, so it doesn't hurt. Every couple sentences or every paragraph or so, just kind of leaning your pen back and rolling it around to keep that shimmer moving. It's a lot easier to keep it moving than once it's completely settled out, because then you really need to get it going, where if it's already mostly loosened up, you can just kind of roll it around and it'll keep moving. So for me, that is a fairly surprising success, because these pens aren't anything special. They don't even have a cap seal in there, so I wouldn't expect them to seal exceptionally well, but no issues with that. So if you do want to make your own shimmer ink, you can pick up the Wearingeul glitter potion. They are fairly expensive though, where a little vial of mica powder you can get super cheap. I picked the 4-pack up there for $1.25 from DollarTree, but even on like Amazon you can get a combo pack of mica powders, and it's one of those you need very little if you are mixing it in like a sample vial. Typically I would not recommend adding the shimmer directly to the bottle, at least until you've tried it out in a smaller amount just to see how it performs. That way, if you do accidentally add too much or not enough, you can keep tweaking the recipe in that little sample vial And if something does happen, it's a lot less ink to toss out if you go too far with it. When I did do the little test, I used the blue mica powder, but honestly it was hard to see the actual color. It probably depends on the ink, but matching either the color to the ink or like a gray or a silver is always going to be a safe bet, is something that won't stand out. And then typically gold is a pretty common shimmer additive to inks, so it really just depends what you're looking for there. So if you're on the adventurous side, I definitely recommend giving it a try, as it's not much to lose. Wouldn't put it in your vintage pen if you had one, but these are pens I picked up in a little 4-pack for next to nothing essentially, and there's plenty of cheap Jinhao and other pens that write plenty well that wouldn't be a huge loss if something happened to them. So I have some links down in the description for Amazon affiliate stuff. That way you can support the channel if you do happen to pick anything up. If not, it doesn't hurt to look.